Good evening and welcome to day number 323. My name is Mary and today's story called Tabitha. Since the church was now planted in many cities throughout the land of the Jews, Peter, who was a leader among the apostles, went from place to place visiting the believers in Christ and preaching the gospel. Once he went down to the plain beside the great sea and came to a city named Lydda. There Peter found a man named Ananias who had the palsy and could not walk. He had been lying on his bed for 8 years. Peter said to him, Ananias, Jesus Christ makes you well. Rise up and roll up your bed. At once Ananias arose and was well. He took up the roll of matting on which he had been lying so long and put it away. All the people in Lydda and Sharon heard of this great work, and many turned to the Lord. A very good woman who everyone loved was living in Joppa, near Lydda. She was called the Gazelle, which is the name of a beautiful animal like a deer. Her name in Hebrew was Tabitha, but in Greek it was Dorcas, which means gazelle. Tabitha, or Dorcas, was a believer in Christ, and like her Lord, she loved the poor and helped them by her work and her gifts. While Peter was at Lydda, Dorcas was taken ill and died. They laid her body in an upper room and sent 2 men to Lydda for Peter, begging him to come without delay. Peter went to Joppa at once. When he came to the house where the body of Dorcas was lying, he found the room filled with widows and poor women who were weeping and showing the garments Dorcas had made for them. Peter sent them all out of the room. When he was alone with the body of Dorcas, he knelt down and prayed. Then he turned to the body and said, Tabitha, arise. She opened her eyes, and when she saw Peter, she sat up. Peter took her by the hand and lifted her up. Then he called into the room the widows and the believers in Christ, and showed Dorcas to them, alive and well. The news of this wonderful work amazed all the city of Joppa and led many to believe in Christ. Peter stayed many days in Joppa at the house of a man named Simon, who was a tanner and lived near the sea. I will share with you a picture. Says Peter restored Dorcas to life. And there it is right here. And that was the word of the Lord. Now we come to questions, discussion questions, and we have 3 of them. The first one says, what was wrong with Ananias? What was wrong with Ananias? The second part of number 1 says, who helped him? Who helped him? And the third part of also question number 1 says, what did he do? What did he do? The second question says, what happened to Dorcas? What happened to Dorcas? And the second part of number 2 says, what did Peter do about it? What did Peter do about it? The third and last question says, what did many people do when they heard what Peter had done? What did many people do when they heard what Peter had done? And with that question, we come to the end of story and day number 323. It's great to read those stories, and I hope you are enjoying every word of it as much as I am enjoying reading it. So may God bless us all until the next time we meet here. I welcome your comments. I'd love to hear from you. Bye-bye for now.